What's going on, my people? How y'all doing out there? Man, y'all already know what time it is. It's TJ with another episode of the Soapbox, and man, I'm feeling wonderful right now. I am so happy to be back with you guys this week to keep on going down this journey of knowledge and understanding that we're on. We're gonna have a good episode today, y'all. We're gonna kick back, talk about a few things, really look forward to building and growing and turning into the better individuals that we know we deserve to be. So, I'm not gonna hold you any longer. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. All right, y'all. So we're going to jump right back into the process of everything that we have been working on, starting with this new section. First off, I kind of want to review what we touched on last week. So remember last week we talked about the first enemy of your self-actualization, and that is comparison. And we talked about how horrible it is to spend your time comparing yourself, your actions, your beliefs, and everything that's about you to other people. You are a unique individual, and there is no reason why you should be hindering yourself or looking down on yourself because you don't think you compare to other people that are around you. So today, we want to dig a little deeper into our journey on this whole self-actualization process. And we want to talk about one of the major roadblocks that affects a lot of people. See, there's a whole lot about your success, about your well-being, about how you operate that is contingent on how you see you. See, when we start thinking about the things that destroy our standings, our mental states, of course, when we start to compare ourselves to other people, then we start to focus on how we measure up to others. And most times when those comparisons are made on a regular basis, it's more along the lines of us sort of dumbing ourselves down so that we actually don't measure up to the standard or to the people that we believe. And we're really looking at them from the outside. But the thing that we want to talk about today is we want to focus on another end of that spectrum, and that is how we actually view us, how we view ourselves. Because the truth of the matter is that if comparison is your enemy based off of how you compare yourself to other people, then this concept of low self-esteem or low self-worth has a lot to do with how you compare yourself to your lowest points, how you look at yourself internally when it comes down to where you stand in the world and in your life and in the people's lives that you deal with each and every day. You see, you have got to understand that your real enemy is not the people that are walking around you all the time. It's not the people you work with. It's not the people in your household. It's not your friend circle. It's not the people that you come in contact with at your other locations that you spend time. Your real enemy, the real person that you're competing against, the real person that you're having to fight tooth and nail every day in and out to subdue the negative and impressionable actions that they place upon you, that person, in all honesty, is you. It is you. It is the individual inside you. It is the inner critic that lives in you. It is the mindsets that you have created, the paradigms that you live from, all of the different parts of you that make up who you are. Those are the real enemies that you have to fight, because a lot of times we have cultivated some really negative and destructive frames of mind. We have cultivated really negative and destructive actions and activities, emotional responses, and things of that sort. If you sat back and assessed yourself first, then I promise you, you would find many different areas where growth is so necessary if you're truly honest with yourself, because that in itself is another challenge for most people, is actually being honest with themselves when it comes down to a real life self-critique of who you are and where you stand. So you also have to understand that your true pathway to success, your true pathway to progress, to prosperity, to being able to be everything that you want to be, everything you need to be, it begins with how you view yourself. I'm going to take this moment right now to make a clear declaration. You ready? You are necessary. Not just important, not just wanted, but actually necessary. You are needed. You are so vitally important to the existence of this world and the progress of people everywhere. Now, you may be thinking in your mind, there's no way that I'm that important. There's no way that I matter that much. And I'm here today to challenge you, to tell you that absolutely, yes, you do. Your contribution to the world is vital. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter who's listening to this, no matter how you feel about your life right now, your contribution to this life, to this world is absolutely necessary and important. And don't you ever let anybody, and that includes yourself, tell you anything different. You are not small. You are not little. You are not something that life can do without. You matter just as much as the next man. And we all share in the wealth of having to be a part of a world that needs us. You are needed. See, I know that there are people out there right now sitting around thinking that they don't matter. I know that somewhere out there is somebody sitting back thinking that their life is worthless, that they don't measure up to what's necessary, that they are nothing more than a disappointment to the people they love and the people who love them. And I'm telling you all right now, if you hear me and these thoughts are running through your head, what I am telling you right now is that you are important, you are needed, you are necessary. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how you feel. You are vital to the life that you are a part of and the people that are a part of that very same lifestyle. So I don't know how many people you guys actually listen to when it comes down to podcasts and books and things of that sort, but I would hope that all of you at some point in time have heard the name of Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas is one of the most profound, magical, powerful, motivational speakers in the world. At the present moment, if he is not the number one motivational speaker, he is definitely in the top 5. Now, I listen to Mr. Thomas every day, sometimes multiple times a day, during the morning, during the middle of the day, during the nighttime. He has so much knowledge and information and just wisdom that guides and helps motivate and push people in the right direction. And he pushes it to so many different walks of life. He is really an amazing spirit. He is really someone who is profound in what he does. And he has definitely helped me in many different ways on many different things that I have listened to and gained insights from his speeches and his lectures and all of these different events that he has done. So in one of Mr. Thomas's speeches, he said something that has stuck with me ever since I heard it. I think it is one of the most profound statements that he has made. And it's quite possible that he could have echoed it from someone else. And I have actually heard other motivational speakers and great minds and thinkers that I listen to make the same claim. He stated, there are some people in the world that will never be the best that they can be until you are the best that you can be. That's powerful, because that statement means that there is so much about other people and their ability to succeed that hinges on how important you are, how magical your life is, how much you strive, how much you push forward. It is so important that we think about those types of things and allow that to actually manifest inside of you. There are some people that are sitting around waiting on you to be the best that you can be, waiting to meet you, waiting to be a part of the life that you develop. I want you to think about a couple of the individuals that we know throughout history. Imagine what basketball would be like if Michael Jordan never met Phil Jackson, or if in football that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick never teamed up. In music, Imagine if Babyface and L.A. Reid never crossed paths. And those are just minor, small examples. All throughout life, all throughout history, we can pinpoint locations where people intersected with other people and they basically brought out the best of another person. Not just in sports, not just in music, not just in entertainment, but in all of life. We find that sometimes, most times, all the time, it takes another person to catapult you to your next level. And Mr. Thomas's statement clearly indicates that there are some people that will never reach the height of where they need to be because they're waiting on you to excel. They're waiting to meet you. That should tell you how important you are. Ladies and gentlemen, there are people out there right now that their life can't change. It can't turn around until they are introduced to you. That's how important you are. That's how great you are. But sometimes we sell ourselves short. We cut our legs from up under ourselves. We tell ourselves that we're not worthy, that we can't do this job, that we're not skilled enough to be a part of this operation, that we'll never be this and we'll never be that. And all the time what we're doing is we are eliminating the pathway for another individual to grow because we're stopping our own growth. Look around you right now. Look at the jobs that you work. Think about the people that are connected to you. Think about who they were when you met them and who they are now since you met them. I'm sure that you may or may not be able to find tons of individuals who have benefited from your communications, from your working together, from being around you. But I guarantee you that you can find at least one, if not more, individuals in your direct circle that, due to the fact that they were engaged with you, due to the fact that they communicated with you, that they talked with you, that you all worked together, you all moved together, that they have gotten better in some way. It matters. You matter. You need to understand that the space you occupy in this world, in this time, is vitally important, and you don't need to take it for granted. Last week, we talked a lot about the suicide numbers and rates. Ladies and gentlemen, suicide is a major issue in our country and in the world. So many people are out there and they feel like their lives are not worth living. And I'm here today on this episode telling you that that is a lie and a falsehood that you cannot believe. You have to reach down in yourself and understand that there are people that love you and are depending on you for so many different reasons. And you matter. And I know that depression is real. And I know that sometimes people fall into different ruts. They lose their jobs. They lose friends. They break up in relationships. And you feel like the world is over. But outside of that tragedy, there are still individuals who truly need you, who care, and they want you to be a part of their lives. So hold on to that, if nothing else. So what if people talk about you? So what if people look down on you? So what if people don't bet on you? If they don't trust you? If they don't think you can achieve? None of that matters when it comes down to you being important. You are still more than what they see in you or how they see you. And remember, there are so many people out there that don't want you to win anyway, that a vast majority of the individuals are rooting against you. Les Brown, one of the greatest motivational speakers of all time, said that when you go through a trial, 80% of the people that see you are glad that you're going through it, and the other 20% are glad that it's not them. You have got to understand that you have to be your greatest fan. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. You can't depend on other people to lift you up. You can't depend on other people to take you to new heights internally and encourage you and push you forward. Now, granted, I'm sure you have people like that around you. I'm sure you have people like that in your circle. But what I am telling you is that there are going to come times and moments in your life when you are going to do things, you're going to be a part of things, you're going to be in places, and it's just going to be you. It's going to be you and the voices inside you. You have to be your biggest fan. You have to root root for you when nobody else will. You have to believe in you when nobody else will. You have to have the courage to push you forward when you don't have anybody outside of you that's willing to push for you. You've got to be able to do that. I admire my brother Tiger so much because when nobody is rooting him on, he's rooting himself on. He believes that he is capable of achieving whatever he thinks about. And that is why he has gained the successes that he has thus far and has such a bright future ahead of him because he's not waiting on a crowd of people to back him up and believe in him. He believes in himself. And that's what you have to do. You cannot stop believing in you. That doesn't mean be arrogant. That doesn't mean be driven by your ego. That doesn't mean not listen to sound counsel and listen to what people have to tell you or advice that people can give you. It doesn't mean any of that. What it means is that when you need support, you're not looking for it from somebody else. It's coming from inside of you. You believe in you and others will. And those that don't matter. So at this point, we've understood, or we've basically gotten to the point of understanding that our life matters and everything that we do, we have to make sure that we are our biggest fan. But it's one thing to say that we're necessary, but how? What's so necessary? What is so important about our existence that the world can't do without it? What is so important that we have to offer to those around us, to the world that we are in, to the path that we've chosen to walk, that is so vital that it needs me? Well, let's look at a few things. So the first thing about you that is so important, so necessary, is your presence. You know, there are some people in your life right now, all they want is for you to be around. They don't care what you're doing. They don't care if you're accomplishing anything. They don't care if you're reaching for the stars. They just enjoy having you around. Your energy, your conversation, your being. They just enjoy that. I'm going to tell you something that I don't know if a lot of people realize. But you know, a lot of times your kids don't care what you do. They just want you there. You know, there are a lot of people out there who spend little to any time with their children. And this may be because of the fact that you're in divided households, or maybe you just got into parenting too early and you just did not work. But understand that a lot of times your children just want you around. They just want your presence. I'll never forget, I was going to work one morning and my daughter came to me and she said, "Daddy, where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to work." She said, "Again?" I was like, "Yeah, baby, I gotta go to work." She was like, "Oh, I wish you was sticking around." That matters. Your children want you around. Your loved ones want you around. I used to enjoy just being with my mom when she was alive. I used to enjoy going to see my dad from time to time when he was alive. I used to enjoy those presences. When I'm around my brothers and when I'm around my sisters, a lot of times it's just that energy. Not that there's anything major going on. It's just the energy. Some people just want your presence. Sometimes even at work, even in areas where you wouldn't even believe it, there are some people that just feel comfortable with you being around. It makes their day better. It makes the operation flow better, just having your energy near them. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, there's nobody that feels like that about me. Well, I guarantee you, if you step back and you look at your entire world, everything that you're a part of, you'll see there are some people that really, really enjoy your presence. And that's all they enjoy. That's all they look for. They don't want much more, but you just there. Anything else that you bring to the table is like icing on the cake, but they really, really just want you around. So that's first, and that matters. The next thing that's necessary is your love. There are so many people in your life that need your love, but you have to love you first. You can't show anybody else any level of love until you learn how to love you. You have to make sure that you are loving you because that's necessary. You need you. You need you to love yourself. Now, I'm not saying love everything about you. I'm not saying love the fact that you're overweight, love the fact that you're out of shape, love the fact that you're having financial problems. I'm not telling you to love all that stuff. I'm telling you that you need to love the identity, the person, the actual essence that is you. And I'll tell you something else. You need to love yourself enough to work on you. You need to love yourself enough to look at yourself and find places that you can grow. Find areas where you need to change and then start working on it. Nobody's saying it's going to be something overnight, but doggone it, you need to love you enough to know that in the position I'm in, I can do better and do better. But there are people around you that need your love. There are locations that need your love. There are operations that need your love. There are so many different things that your love will blanket. You know, there are some people that are on the verge of giving up on life, but they're going to be saved because somebody loved them enough to reach out to them. There are some people that are going through major health issues, and they're going to be healed because there is somebody who loved them enough to actually care for them and help them through those hard times and give them encouragement. Love matters so much, and it's not always intimacy. Sometimes you can just care so much about a person's well-being that you're willing to put a lot on the line to help them. And I myself have seen multiple people demonstrate that type of love in my life. There are many people that I tell you right now, I am so indebted to their love because of who I am today and what I am able to accomplish. If it were not for their love for me, I would not be where I am right now. So understand there are people out there who need your love. Now, this is a big one because it encompasses a lot, but your knowledge, your wisdom, and your guidance. Now, everybody's not going to listen to you. I'm just being quite honest with you. There are some people who know it all. There are some people who know more than you, and there are some people who feel like you don't know enough. All those individuals exist, and you're going to run into them on a regular basis. But there are some people who are sitting around waiting for answers to problems that only you have. There are some people who need your knowledge base. There are some people who need the wisdom that you hold in your head and in your heart that they can actually use and move forward. There are some people who need your guidance. They're in bad situations or they're moving in very reckless and dangerous ways, and they need something or somebody to sort of corral them back on track. You know, there are some people who can't listen to anybody until somebody comes along and they can actually relate to that individual. I can sit here and talk to you guys all day long, but there are some people that I just can't reach. There are some people that just cannot connect to my voice, to who I am, to what I'm saying, but they can connect to you. You might very well be able to take the exact same words that I'm saying to you right now and completely say the same sentences, the same words, the same verbiage, everything, and reach an individual who I couldn't reach with the same exact statement. There are some people that only you can get through to. But if you sit around and tell yourself that you're not capable, if you down talk yourself and make yourself believe that you're not able to reach anybody, then you'll never reach those people. So as you completely damn yourself, you're basically damning them too. So understand that there are people that need you. They need what you have to say. They need what you think. So give it to them when they want it. Because there are also some people who don't want you to do anything unless it's solicited. They don't want to hear a single thing from you unless they ask. So don't push yourself on anybody, but understand that there are some people out there in the world that will never be able to go or do what they need to do until they hear something that comes out of your mouth. And that matters. Your experiences are necessary. Y'all, I haven't lived on this earth forever. None of us have. All of us have lived different lives. All of us have lived through different situations. So it is definitely obvious that all of us have have different experiences. I learn from the experiences of other people all the time. Every conversation that I have with another person, I try my best to glean whatever information I can to grow a little bit from what they are talking about. Some people have been through some really crazy stuff. Some people have done some magnificent things in their lives. All these different experiences are things that we can gain and grow from. And you are no different than anybody else. You have been through things, whether they've been ups, downs, highs, lows, whatever the case may be. You've been through storms. You've actually been through days when everything was sunshine and rainbows. All of that is stuff that can be passed on to other people so that they can pick up the lessons that maybe you didn't get the first time. Sometimes you could tell a person about a situation and it could speak to them a totally different way than what it did to you. You have to understand that your life itself is a guidebook for somebody somewhere. Because let's be honest, we all have not done the right thing all our lives. And there are some people right now that benefit from them learning about situations that we were in the past. So your experience matters. Your experiences in your life are definitely necessary, and you don't need to look at them lightly. Your inspiration matters. There are some people that you need to touch. There are some people that need that extra boost and be inspired, be motivated to move forward. There are some people that are going to look at your life, look at the things you do, and they are going to just think in their mind, oh my God, did you see what he did? Or did you see what she did? That's just wonderful. I want to be like that. You know, there's so many people in different walks of my life that I look at that inspire me to be better at so much. There are pianists that I see playing all the time, and I think to myself, man, I want to be that good. There are people on television and people that I listen to, people on YouTube, and I think to myself, man, I want to be something amazing like that. That's inspiration. There are some people who have never seen certain skills being actually executed their entire lives in person. There are some skills that you have that nobody else had. And while they're on display, they will inspire the masses. This is the reason why we call entertainers national treasures, because the work that they do inspires us all. That's why they get immunity when it comes down to wars and being a part of the military, because they have been looked at as a treasure that we need to hold on to on land here safe so that they can continue to keep up the morale and the spirit of the individuals who are still here. Well, you may not be an entertainer, you may not be an actor or an actress, but in the eyes of somebody, you are a national treasure. You are a pure inspiration to their life and what they want to achieve. And you mean the absolute world to them. So you need to understand that you don't need to back away from that. You don't need to look at yourself as a lower individual, because there's somebody out there right now that's looking at you like you're the best thing that was ever born. You need to know that there is somebody looking at you, looking at what you do, looking at how you act, and they're thinking to themselves, when I grow up, or when I do that job, or when I move into that position, I want to be just like them or better. You are an inspiration. Don't think that you aren't. But now this pushes me to my next necessity. Your pressure is necessary. And what I mean by that is that you have to be that inspiration to people. But on the flip side, to some people, you are going to be hated. That's right. You're going to be something or somebody that, because they can't be you, because they can't do what you do, because they're not at that level, that they have so much hatred and despise of you that it motivates them to move. I want you guys to think about some of the greatest rivalries that you have ever seen in the history of sports and in the history of things like music. Sometimes that pressure that you present to somebody is what forces them to turn on the light switch, forces them to change gears. And that's crazy for you to think about, because in the long run, these are the people that are hating on you. But what it's doing is it's forcing them to be the best parts of themselves. It's forcing them to level themselves up because they don't want to be outdone or outshined by you. Basically, it's the flip side of inspiration. You're still inspiring them, but you're just doing it in a way that reflects the negativity that they have inside of themselves for you. But you know what? You don't worry about that. That's not your problem. That's their problem. That's their internal issue. You are the reason that they are better. And you need to relish in the idea that there are some people right now that are hating your guts, but because of the fact that they hate you, it is actually making them better at what they do. They hate you so much that they can't stay small. They can't stay little. They can't keep themselves down because they're trying to push themselves to a point where they can outdo you. That means that you are somebody. That means that you matter, because if you have so much hatred for me that it causes you to elevate yourself to new heights, then keep on hating me. Don't get me wrong. You could get the same type of results from not hating me, from just using me as inspiration. But since you've decided to cultivate this negative position, then keep on rolling, homeboy. Do what you got to do. Get where you're going to go. And I promise you, at the end of the day, you'll thank me since you hate me so much. That should tell you right there that even your haters need you. Next is your accomplishment. Now, this one is kind of self-explanatory. We all know that throughout history, the multitude of accomplishments that have been made by so many different people were necessary for the continued progress of the human race. Well, you are no different. Your accomplishments in your life are necessary to continue to progress your family, to continue to progress your business ventures, to continue to progress who you are and where you want to be. Everything that you have achieved, everything that you have gained is necessary. It's vital because it feeds so much of who you are. It completely connects to your psyche and shows you that you can do, you can gain, you can have success. And every little success that you get is nothing more than a chemical response that hits you fast. It's a dopamine hit that you take whenever you do something and accomplish something and complete something. And it brings you up. It brings your level up. And then that in turn spills out to the people that are around you. There are so many people that benefit from your accomplishments that you probably don't even know. There are individuals that probably benefit from what you've done every single day and you don't know their names. You never come across them. That's because you matter. Your life thread, the absolute essence that you are, is so vitally important. That's why you can't just abandon it. You can't just throw it away because it matters. Now, along with your accomplishment is your example. Your examples matter. The type of life you lead. You know, there are some people who don't get to see a good example of a decent person. There are some people who all day, every day, they see personalities that are the worst that life has to offer. This is why it's so vitally important that your personality, the example you set for people, is a strong one, is a positive one, is a push forward, because sometimes that's all some people will ever see when it comes down to good. I go to church on a regular basis, and I have heard my pastors say, along with others, multiple times, that sometimes the only Jesus that people will ever see is you. That statement is profound because the truth is that you are a walking representation of what you want the world to see of you. So if you walk around with an attitude, guess what? That's the example that people connect to. If you walk around very narcissistic, everything is about you, you're selfish, you're self-centered, then that is the example that the world sees of you. But if you walk around and you're giving, you're compassionate, you're a positive motivational presence everywhere you go, then that is the example that people will get from you. And you know what? Despite how successful successful you think you are, nobody wants to be around somebody with a negative attitude. Nobody wants to be around somebody that is so resentful and negative, argumentative, critical. Nobody wants to be around that all the time. There's a time and a place for all emotions, but at no point in time is there a time to be rude. So nobody wants to couple themselves up with those type of negative actions and activities. That's why your example is so vital. You need to make sure that the example that you're setting for everyone that comes behind you, that is connected to you, that you are actually aspiring to be, is one of positivity that will not shine a negative light on you. And you can't do that if you feel like you're worthless. And then finally, y'all, the one that is the hardest pill to swallow. But ladies and gentlemen, your mistakes are necessary for so many reasons. Look, we all are human beings. We are living a life of trial and error. So we are going to do things throughout our lives that make sense, and we're going to do some things throughout our lives that don't make sense. We're going to make a lot of mistakes, and as it stands right now, we have made a lot of mistakes. Some mistakes are really, really small. Some mistakes are really, really big. But the truth of the matter is, you need your mistakes first because they are your learning tools. They are teaching you what to do, what not to do, how to handle certain situations, how to deal with certain people. You need that before anybody. But also, the people outside of you need your mistakes too, because your mistakes become a roadmap for them so that they know what to avoid. They know how not to slip up in this location or how to slip up with this action. They know how to avoid this situation or avoid this relationship. You need to understand that as much as your mistakes hurt, as much as you wish they did not exist, they are necessary. They are a teaching tool and nothing more. They are not there for you to live in. So if you did something 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and it keeps lingering on in your mind, you have to let that go, because all you were supposed to do was learn the lesson from that particular action and move on. Stop harboring long, drawn out misery from mistakes that you made in the past. Learn how to grow from those things and move on. But they are not something that you should just simply wish didn't exist, because they have helped you grow. They will continue to help you grow. And not only you, but the people around you that understand them, know them, and assess them will also grow from the mistakes that you made throughout your life. Well, guys, that's all I got for you guys this week. I'm telling you, we are going to keep on rolling with this self-actualization. We're definitely going to keep crossing this bridge. And I am telling you, it's been a wonderful, wonderful trip so far with you guys. Keep your head up. Understand you're necessary. Understand you matter. And there is so much about you that is needed for somebody to be the best that they can be. Thank you, guys. I love you. Peace.